Menace, Monroe. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Menace Monroe. And ladies and gentlemen, this I'm kind of a fan, man. I'm kind of a big fan. I remember about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, maybe a little longer, man. I was coming back home from New York City, and someone sent me a link, and I don't even know who sent it to me, but they sent me a link, and it said 23 and 1 or something on it, and I thought it was gonna be a video about me or some shit, you know what I mean? And then you popped
Yeah.
up, and it was a rap song, man. And let me say, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. But go ahead and tell the people, uh, what the hell sent you to the pen, man?
That last particular time, I was 20 years old and I caught an armed robbery charge. That was actually my second one. I got charged with armed robbery when I was 17 and charged as an adult.
They
So
brought that shit up too, didn't they? In the courtroom.
yeah, yes, they did.
People say that shit's locked. They don't bring it up. That's bullshit. They bring all that juvie stuff up. I was just talking to someone about it the other day. Uh, and if you can, man, is there any way that you can explain kind of the circumstance of the armed robbery? Like, was it, robbing a store clerk, or was it gun to someone's face? Was anything along those lines?
What it was, I was selling weed and different drugs and shit at the time, and somebody had took me off. They they got over on me, and I found them. I just through another person, I managed to get his phone number, and like maybe 2 months down the road, end up meeting back up with the guy, and he didn't even remember me at all. Didn't even remember taking me off or anything. And he had some Xanaxes he was selling, so I bought the Xanax from him. And then when he got out the car, I got out with him and I pulled the gun out on him. And I just took the money back that I gave him. That's all he had. And I jumped in the car, and as we were driving, I could already see him on the phone. He called the police. They got my license plate, all that shit.
That
It
shit's
was
crazy, man.
yeah, there was witnesses outside the scene, and I couldn't even beat this shit. The guy told he robbed me first. I robbed him back, and then he told on me.
Yeah. And I've had a couple homeboys that went down for armed robbery for one was for robbing a drug dealer, and then one was for the same situation you had. Dude robbed him and he robbed him back, but dude pressed charges. And when it comes to armed robbery, let's say if you were to put a gun to a store clerk's head, you're probably guaranteed to get at least 10 to 15, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
When it deals with the street shit behind the scenes, and they do take it easy on you a little bit in the courtroom when it comes to situations like that. You know what I mean? That's what I've noticed, at least. But ladies and gentlemen, do not. I'm telling you, man, do not play with these strong arm robberies. They will oil your ass up and go straight to the pen for a long damn time, man.
They really will.
Yeah,
They
armed
look at the
robberies.
potential. It's not just about what happened, but it's the potential of what could have happened. Anytime you
Exactly.
putting a firearm on somebody, whether you discharged or not, somebody could have seriously got hurt. That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, yeah. That was my forte, man. Strong arm robberies. I never got caught for it. That was what I was doing until I got
It's a
locked up
blessing.
at 18, man. And it is a true blessing after I got locked up and seen how many people are doing 20 years for armed robberies. I couldn't believe it, man. I never did it again once I found out the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh, what
that's
juvie? What juvie were you in? What facility?
I spent the majority of the time in Charles H. Hickey School. It's a Baltimore County juvenile detention center. And then I
Okay.
was in the Baby Bookings. It's the city juvenile detention center. And then I did a placement too in Western Maryland called Meadow Mountain. They sent me out there one time, and I was out there for like 6 months in the camps and shit.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
I used to see bears. Like I used to really see bears when I look out the window.
Had you up in the damn mountains or some shit. That's crazy, man. All right, so you go into jail. What was the first jail you went to? What was that place called?
Adult jail
Yeah,
was Baltimore County Detention Center.
let's hear
It's
about
how
that, man. I hear it's pretty wild in that damn jail, man.
Yeah, it is. You got the new side of the jail and you got the old side. See, the first time I came, I was on the hopper tier with people 21 and under. So
Uh-huh.
that was kind of wild. But immediately, as soon as I come in, I spent so much time in the juvenile system. As soon as I came on the tier, I seen probably 10, 11, 12 people I knew from the juvenile system.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
good.
like walking in like to
Welcome
open
home.
arms. Yeah, what's
Welcome
up,
home,
man?
buddy. It's been a while. You took a long vacation, but we're back in it, huh?
Right.
Oh
Bullshit.
man. And let me ask you this, man, because over here we have the same type of thing. We got an old side and a new side in one of the jails that I did a lot of time in. Now, for me, the new side, everyone wanted to go to the new side because it was new and it was cleaner and stuff like that. But me and some of the official cats, they wanted to go to the old side because they can do whatever the hell they want. Is it like that?
Right. It's
It's like
exactly like that. The new
okay,
side got
okay,
they got washing machines and ice machines and shit, but they also got cameras. It's
yup,
stiff. It's stiff over there. You're not really doing too much. But the old side, it's no cameras. It's really like a dungeon on the old side. Yeah, any seasoned convict gonna want to be on the old side of the jail.
exactly, man. And that's what we called it, the dungeon, man. People used to look at me crazy. They'd be like, "Why aren't you locking in?" Because I'm not doing my time in this fucking pod, dog. I'm gone, and
Right.
that's how I did it. That's usually how I got the hell out of places I didn't want to go to. I just wouldn't lock in, and I'll tell the LT lieutenant as soon as he comes through. He'd be like, "What's your problem, man?" I said, I can't do time in this pod, man. Too many people. But really, you go down to the dungeon, you can do whatever the hell you want, and they ain't gonna be threatening you to move you. Oh, we're gonna take you from the new side. I don't give a shit about this new
Right.
side stuff, man. Don't hold that over my head. But yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure a lot of jails are like that. Was there any kind of situations or moments in that jail that you can remember that just might have impacted you?
In that particular jail, I would say I met I met a couple older dudes. That was my first time being locked up around some older guys. So at that particular time, I met some guys that really gave me some good, tools that I probably kept in life probably to this day.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot and how to think a little bit different and how to move a little bit smarter. And so above anything that I could say stuck with me to this day from then is that shit I learned from older guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there any kind of moments where you said, damn, this shit, seeing someone get severely injured in that jail? I was like, damn, this shit's crazy real, man.
Yeah, I saw shit like that and I really don't, that shit is like kind of fun and games in the moment when you're in it. I don't know if that shit really had too much of an impact on me. I think it was more so like being away from my family and the same thing, looking at older guys like, damn, this guy's still doing this shit at that age. It was when even though I didn't just chill out that first time, that's when I really started looking like, man, I might have to start trying to do things a little different before I be 40, 50 years old, starting a new bit for burglary or
Yeah.
some shit.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Yeah, I be thinking the same damn way. I used to see them old heads like, I ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be in here that age, man.
When I finally got locked up and did that time I just did, I was out on bail for the armed robbery, but I kept catching new cases for little petty shit like counterfeit money charges and theft and stuff. And I kept getting out on. By the time I got sentenced, I was out on like 5 bails, and I
Yeah.
think in my own recognizance in Philly, and I got locked up for a burglary. After I had already pled guilty, they gave me a cap for 6 years, meaning I couldn't get any higher than 6 years.
Yeah.
So I took the cap, and I think like 4 days later, I got locked up on a burglary. So by the time I came back for sentencing, the judge is like, hold up. Last time you were here, you went home, but now you're locked up. So you're locked up on new charges. And that's why they didn't play with me, gave me the 20.
And they put 20, but they put what? So that means that leaves you with 13 years over your head on probation.
Right. That's what I had. I'm off probation and parole now. I'm off everything.
Damn right, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. When'd you get off of that?
In June, last June.
How'd that feel, man? Was it kind of like being reborn, dog?
Hell yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I remember
Yeah.
that feeling. I couldn't believe it. You
They
know?
might as well have baptized me.
I'll tell you what, man. When they told me I was released, I almost didn't feel right, man, because I've been going to the office so damn long since the juvie, man. I've been going in and out of these damn probation offices. It's honestly, man, that's the best way to put it. It's like being reborn and you're just starting a brand new life, man. So that's awesome, man. Congratulations to you and congratulations to myself, you know.
Thanks a lot,
But
man.
yeah, all right, man. So let's step foot into the penitentiary. Tell me about it, man. Where'd you go for reception or receiving, whatever y'all call it out there?
Yeah, I went down to Diagnostic Center. It's in Baltimore City.
Diagnostics. That's what y'all call them.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like a shithole, filthy. They had us in the bullpen. It's like 40 of us in the bullpen, dudes sleeping on top of each other, and you still got the Muslims trying to pray.
Yeah.
You like get everybody's getting sweaty meat sandwiches and shit. We were in the bullpen for like probably 36 hours waiting to get in the cell. Then the cell is like you come out once every other day until you go to wherever you're going at. But I had to stay there for a month because I had upcoming court dates. So they just left me right there for a little bit. And then they shipped me out to Eastern Correctional Institute on the Eastern Shore.
I think I've heard some war stories coming from there. And what was the diagnostics place called again?
It's I believe it's called Diagnostic Center of Baltimore or something like that.
Oh, so that's literally what it's called.
It's literally called Diagnostic Center.
Okay. All right, so you left there and you say you went to Eastern Correctional?
Yeah, Eastern Correctional Institute.
How the hell was that place, man? I mean,
man, that shit's gangland. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's gang central.
Yeah.
I actually went in and I thought I just came in ready for whatever. That's how I had it in my mind. Like, I've been to other jails, but you always hear prison stories and shit.
Yeah.
So I just came in ready for anything. I remember I was standing outside my cell, back against the wall, posted up. Somebody walked past me like, "Hey man, it ain't that serious, man. You ain't gotta be like that." I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Oh, you're beefed up on that shit, huh?
Hell yeah, ready for whatever.
Damn right. Well, tell me that. Tell me a little bit more about your first day or week in prison. I mean, how did it unfold? How'd you get into the groove of things, man?
My cell buddy, he was walking me through a lot of shit, and he was an older dude. He had already been down like 2 years, so he was more so like breaking shit down, like the schedule, how long we come out, and how everything moves, and then everything else I just figured out on my own, pretty much. Jump in the mix, come out, and just see what's going on, see who's who, what's what. I pretty much got myself in the mix of things.
Yeah. Was there any kind of, I guess you could say, well, actually, you say it's gangland. Who was the majority of people in there kind of running things, or you saw had the numbers when it came to the gangs?
I say number one, I probably had to give it to BGF. They had
the Black Gorilla family.
Yeah, they was definitely the thickest in there, and then it was kind of evened out. Other than that, it was mostly BGF, and then you had your Bloods, your Crips, and your Dogs. That was DMI. That was that was the four main gangs that were solidified.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about DMI actually lately. In Virginia, I didn't see none of those cats. I didn't even hear the name until I started doing this prison channel thing. But yeah, would you say you've seen a lot of white dudes, Crips, GDs, or blood white dudes banging that shit in there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, DMI, that's all white dudes,
Yeah.
and then you'll have a couple. I met a couple white Crips, couple white Bloods, and they ain't no white BGF. We know that. But
Hey,
yeah,
you never know nowadays. There might be someone slinging that shit, you know? They might not be
yeah,
real, you know, not real, but you know how it goes.
somebody rapping false
Yeah.
flagging.
Yeah, false flag and all that shit. Well, was there ever a time where people tried to get you to join something, or you want to run with someone, or anything like that maybe help with safety issues or anything like that?
No, well, when I came in, I was already banging. I was GD when I came in, and I was gang banging in there with some other GDs, and I was doing that for a while, you know, getting into shit, and then I ended up becoming Crip in there. It was kind of a long story, but I basically, you know, I was around. It's a long story, right? But I ended up becoming Crip, and I ain't had no problems behind it or nothing like that. For like from GDs, like, oh, you switched over, like it was cool. Everybody, ain't nobody give a fuck. And then after being Crip for a couple years, I left the gang shit alone completely. I kept going on lockup for different things, and I just realized, you know, once I got around like 25 years old, started thinking a little bit different. I was behind the door for a long time, started realizing like my life probably ain't gonna be shit if I continue down that particular path. So I just made a decision, like, and I did it when I was on lockup. So I just made a decision when I come off, I'm gonna let everybody know this is what it is now. I'm riding by myself. And if I had to, you know, get into some shit behind it, well, at least I know that I'm gonna get in trouble for the right reason this time. That's what I had made up in my mind. But, you know, luckily when I came off, I always been a stand-up guy, you know, so everybody that rocks with me off of me. So I got
Yeah.
pretty much the same shit from everybody. Like, man, I loved you before the gang shit. That shit ain't nothing. Don't even, you good. Don't even worry about that shit. That's
Yeah.
how it was. I stayed right on the compound, right in regular population. The rest of my sentence, I ain't have no problems.
Yeah. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, that could go both ways. You know, some people they do the same process or same steps that you've done. And you know, some people get their lives taken behind that shit, you know what I mean? So you're very
Yeah.
fortunate, but this is an amazing story because, you know, ever since the beginning of this channel, even though I have a lot of gang members on here and, you know, I got a lot of respect for the majority of people that have came on this show, I still don't approve of the gang life, you know, because I've seen
Right.
everything I've seen from it. 90 to 95% of it was all bad. It was all bad, and you're gonna, if you get caught doing 95% of that shit, you're going to the pen. So I never stood for anything along those lines. But hey, it's good to hear that you
Yeah.
changed around, man. What would you say was the main deciding factor?
You know what it was? It I think I really think it was my my first son. He was born when I was in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and just having him, and like I said, getting older and just starting to think different. The one of the main things that always kept me with the gang shit is just because you hear people say something like, you know, you make a decision, you gotta live by it, die by it. And I just, you know, I started getting older, and like all them little sayings and shit that everybody, like, I just started questioning everything and realized that all of it was bullshit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I just started thinking, like, why is this decision that I made the one decision that I'm gonna choose to stick through? If people change their mind about shit every day. Just
yeah,
because you chose to do this, that don't mean you gotta live by it and die by it. No, man. I had the ability to make decisions. I can change my mind. I can do what I want. I was born by myself. And having a son, that changed everything. Like, he didn't ask to be born. That's my responsibility. I don't owe shit to nobody except for my children, because they didn't ask to be born. I chose to bring them. So they the only ones I owe something to. I don't owe shit to nobody. I'm not, just because I made a decision when I was young, a bad decision, I'm not going to live the rest of my life by that shit. I don't give a
hey,
fuck.
that's the most solid ass shit I've heard in a while, man. You ain't gotta live or die by no kind of code of conduct. If you join that shit when you're young, shit, people change up, man. And
Yeah,
that was a good piece, man. That was a damn good piece. And let this be a message to anyone out there that is gangbang, want to get the hell out of that shit, man. You ain't gotta look. There might be repercussions. Don't say I'm not gonna sit here and say there isn't. Some places are much more dangerous when it comes to the gang life than others, but if you want to leave that shit behind, man, you can. You can.
yeah,
You ain't got to fall. It's funny you said the sayings, all the bullshit sayings. When I'm on Instagram, people be posting sayings, right?
yeah,
Sayings, and they'll have like a rapper picture underneath it or something like that. Sayings. It's all bullshit to me, man. It's like it
yeah.
could easily be answered and disproved if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It sounds good. The sayings really do sound good, but it's
Right.
bullshit. I don't like sayings, and that's cool that you brought that up because I was just thinking that myself today on Instagram. Man, it's crazy how things fall into place. But did you see anything? Was the shanks or anything like that prevalent in that prison? Was people getting stabbed? I mean, what was the battle scenario like in there?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of knife slinging going on. I mean, as soon as I came in, like I told you, I was GD, and
Yeah.
like the dude that was running the GD shit, he gave me a piece of metal pipe, probably like this long, probably like an inch thick, like a quarter-inch thick the other way, and it was just flat on each side. And he had broke it off the piece in the kitchen where you slat the trays in,
Uh
and
huh.
then the piece that goes down the middle, he broke it off and he gave it to me like you gotta sharpen it yourself. But that was on my probably like my second, third day in. Got my hands on something, and
What the
it
hell did
was.
you think about? Did they say, "Hey man, you're gonna need this," or were they like, "Hey, here you go, just in case"?
He said, I mean, when he handed it to me, he said, "You're gonna need." He definitely told me you're gonna need this. Keep this with you.
Oh
He's like, I
shit.
got it for you, but you're gonna have to put the work in with it yourself.
Okay. And how'd you sharpen that? How'd you sharpen that big shit up?
Right down on that floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
elbow
it?
grease.
Was there anybody? Was there any other marks on the ground from people sharpening their shanks up on the ground already?
Not in that particular cell, but I've been in cells with shit that deep in the floor. I ain't even realize you could do that. Like, oh, big cuts all the way across. I remember looking,
Straight
not even knowing
concrete
what.
cuts.
Yeah, first time somebody told me it was from knives, I didn't even believe that shit. Like, how
Nah.
else did that shit happen? That shit happened from sharpening knives.
Years and
Yeah.
years of Wolverine claws tapping that shit. You know what I mean? Like the prison I was in, man, there was a blind spot outside in the yard, and we would sharpen them right there on the wall, right? And then it was also cool because our enemies could see us doing that shit, and they know what time it is. They want to ride out. You know what I mean? So it was
Right.
kind of out in the open, but it wasn't in the open for the towers, the guard towers, or any kind of cameras. And that wall, man, like I said, it looked like Wolverine done tapped into the side of that wall a few times. That shit was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Was there any moments that you would say? Well, let me ask this: you getting a lot of fights in there? Will anyone ever test you like that? Lose any?
I
Win
got
any?
I definitely got in some fights, and I didn't lose no fights. I got in some even match fights, but
Yeah.
I got in some fights. I was involved in some like mini riots, stabbings, all that shit.
Well,
I had
tell me about one of the
fight.
riots, man. A riot that you think stuck out more than others to you.
I made a song about it. It's called
Oh, okay.
August 8th. That's one of my more popular songs. Actually, I was on the Crip tier. It was Crips and Dogs on my tier, and then on the other tier it was Crips and BGF. And what happened was in another building, somebody had stabbed one of the Crips, and they was having a meeting, talking about what they were going to do about it. And the dude that was in charge said, like, we just gonna let it be what it be. We just gonna let that shit die. And off of that, from dudes disagreeing, by the time we came in from the yard and locked in, As soon as we came out, shit just started jumping off. Dude ran in my man's cell and started trying to fight him. My other man ran in there and stabbed him. And he like fell out the cell and went into the rec hall. And like, you know, when something's going on, you can feel the tension. Like even the people that's not involved, everybody standing up, posted up and shit. Yep. So that's how the tear is. And the dude who had just got stabbed, he was over there in the corner with his little mans that's going to ride for him. And me and everybody else, you know, was like posting up, like getting ready and shit. I go stand in the blind spot over behind the shower wall. And my man walks up to me like, man, fuck that shit. Yo gotta go right now. Yo gotta go. So the dude that got stabbed, he like jumped up. He was big as shit. He jumped up, came over like, man, what the fuck you mean I gotta go? What's up? So we all just jumped on, stabbing him up, fighting. Then his mans that was with him, they tried jumping in to help him. We were stabbing them up, beating the shit out of them. And all the police came. They came like 20, 30 deep. They had the mace cans out and shit. I ran up the steps, threw a knife in the toilet, threw one of my man's knives in the toilet, flush it. I don't know why the COs ain't come in and start spraying shit, but while I'm upstairs doing that, I'm the only one that went upstairs, mind you. Everybody else downstairs. Everybody's covered in blood. I'm covered in blood. I take my shirt off. Somebody gives me another shirt, sew my shirt on and shit. And then they locked everybody that was involved. They had cuffed them all up and took them out. I was like kind of still in the crowd, and they were letting people out the rec hall one by one to go to their cells, patting us down and shit. So I go out. The guy pats me down, and he tells me to go ahead. I'm like, oh my God, I'm walking towards my cell. He's like, hold up, put your hands behind your back. So he put my hands behind my back. We all of us beat the ticket though. All of us beat it, came back on the compound. But that one right there was definitely like one of something I never forget.
Yeah, you think you all beat it because everyone held their water and remained solid behind closed doors?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, tell me, man, if you can, just quickly, briefly, the main reason on why you decided to leave GDs and run with the Crips. What was the main reason? Did someone turn their back on you or what?
Yeah, well, when I went, I mean, from home, it was nobody, no gang member, nobody at all besides my close family members that was keeping any contact with me. A couple of homeboys, you know, every now and then, once in a blue moon. But really what it was when I became Crip, looking at it now, it was just me being confused about really what it was I just was done with the gang shit, period. I just didn't even know it yet. Yeah. But my man, the dudes that I was really like rocking with at that time, like I was spending every single day with, 24 hours of the day, all them dudes was Crips. So at that little point in time where I was, starting to doubt shit,
might as well jump ship. That's all your homeboys are.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Jump straight in the mix with them, with dudes I was stuck with.
I've seen that many times, man. Many times. I've seen dudes jump. I mean, just the same damn story you just told. I've seen many individuals take the same path, man. Where they went into a block or a different prison, and everyone that they're hanging out with is running with someone. That's what they did.
It's all camaraderie at the end of the day.
It is.
That's all it really is. No matter what gang, it's all camaraderie. That's all it should be about.
I believe that's the main thing is the camaraderie, but there are deeper meanings to all this gang shit, man, and they try to spin off different philosophies and shit like that, but damn, that's a crazy story, man. Was there ever a time you thought that you were gonna die in that damn place?
Nah, it wasn't never a time I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah. What about them bandits, man? Them booty bandits. They running around in them prisons?
Oh yeah. I mean, they definitely.
Here we go.
They still running around, right? It ain't happening as much as it used to back in the day. But them booty bandits are definitely in there. But I seen dudes I thought were stand up, substantial dudes. I seen them go ahead and turn another cheek. That shit fucked me up.
Oh shit.
I can't remember his name, yo. It was a dude. He had large breasts and he had a large exterior.
So he had plastic
Posterior.
surgery and all that shit done.
Yeah, but he was like a thug at the same time though. So
Oh
yeah, you just had
shit.
you just had to watch. You had to watch him. You had to keep your eye on. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
We'll call him thuggin'. We'll call him thuggin', man.
Yeah, call him Thug Love.
Hey, look. What the hell made him so thuggish, though? What was he doing that was kind of gangster like?
Like he'd be feminine, right? But then like say you try to jump in front of him in a microwave and all the feminine shit would go straight out the window like, yo,
Oh.
I was in that motherfucking microwave, yo. Yeah,
Oh shit!
yeah.
I'm not holding that. You know, that's funny as hell, man. I've seen that a few times too, man. That shit's crazy.
That shit, wow.
That's wild, man. I mean, what about victims, man? Was there any people getting victimized in there when it came to, let's say, extortion or just straight getting robbed, people stealing a lot of people's shit, anything like that going on?
Man, what hell? Yeah, every day, all the
Yeah,
week of being extorted or that being what's the word? Is on a lot of people do that passive aggressive shit now. Like they're coming, like they asking you for your shit and you giving it to them. Like
oh, I saw
you
that when I
know,
was in there. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of passion, and you still got the full blown aggressive people taking people's shit. Dudes getting extorted, paying to use the phone, paying $3 a week to use the phone. I've been on tiers where I seen dudes that never touch like you're not touching the phone. You fake.
Yeah.
I've been on the tiers, 4 phones on the tier. 2 of the phones are claimed by BGF. One of the phones claimed by DMI, and then it's one open phone for the rest of the 60 people on the tier.
Yeah, and it was a lot. Man, that place sounds a lot like Virginia, man. You know, and I knew this stuff, man. It always seemed like I got along with someone, you know, a part of a gang, man, and it just worked out perfectly with the phones for me, man. Because there was some places where if you weren't gang banging, man, you're gonna be paying some serious money just to touch a damn phone or
Real
not touch it
shit.
at all. You know, let's see here. Who do you think would be like the victims in that place, man? What type of individuals do you think people were being preyed upon the most? Was it just non-affiliated individuals, or was it, hey, that guy looks weak as hell, or those the guys that mainly got hit up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely the guys that look weak, that like first timers, young dudes that don't know any better. Um, you weren't really going to get preyed upon just because you are non-affiliate. But if you are weak and you ain't got nobody behind you, you're gonna get preyed upon. No matter where you go, you're gonna always have the guys that ain't a part of shit, but they got everybody's respect. You're
Yep.
gonna always have that wherever you go at.
Yeah, for sure.
That dudes coming in with the wide eyes, looking like they're terrified. They're about to get preyed upon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you see any AB Aryan Brotherhood or any kind of white supremacist gangs in there? Other than,
I
of
did.
course, DMI, but that's not really the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I seen it was it was like sprinkled in. It always would be like a couple of them in the jail at any given time, whatever. I remember them and the DMI, they were beefing with each other not that long ago. One,
Yeah.
it was a dog. I know him. I was on the tier with him out ECI when I was on the DMI and Crip tier. Dude named Pick. He got killed by an Aryan brother out
Damn.
Jessup.
Oh,
Hell
shit.
yeah.
I mean, would you say they had power or they were calling any kind of shots in any way, shape, or form?
No, not really in the jails. I've heard about them, doing that in the federal penitentiary and
Yeah.
other regions, but no, not in the prison I ever been in.
Paperwork. Did people have to show their paperwork when they came into any kind of block or prison? Was that a big thing that you seen?
Uh-uh. No,
You didn't
I
have to show
heard
no paperwork.
I heard of that. I've heard of that, but I never personally seen that where you gotta put your paperwork out. If somebody says something about, dudes are like get people's names and call uptown and do checks on them and shit like that. But I never seen nobody come and just gotta put their paperwork out before.
And this is what I was going to ask you. I forgot to ask you when we were talking about the extortion stuff. What do you think is the number one way someone would get extorted that you've seen in prison, man?
For drugs, that's the number one way I seen somebody get extorted is for drugs. Like when people get like Suboxones and they like people will buy Suboxones and then they cut them into pieces and sell the pieces and shit.
Yeah.
And dudes would just bombard them, like just press up on them, make them give them to them. Like that's the most shit I seen people get extorted for drugs.
Okay, so guys would try to get their own little side thing going on, and then someone get wind of it, go get it.
Yeah, even if it's just a piece, like somebody might hear like, oh, such and such got the strips, like, oh, and they gonna go straight over to him like, yo, let me get a piece, yo. And a dude won't even really, they're not even gonna question. Like if they soft, they just gonna go in their pocket and kick that shit out.
Yeah. I've seen when it came to drug game extortions, I've seen dudes buy like a half ounce of weed or a quarter, and dude give it to him, but the next day or two, usually next day because they didn't want him to get rid of it, they'd have someone knocking at the door. They're going to get that shit, and they'll go right back to the guy that sold it to him. You know what I mean? This shit was crazy. Was there a lot of weed smoking going on in that prison?
No, not really. It was more Spike, more K2. It was smoking K2.
Shit.
But that shit had dudes going crazy though, running up to the police talking about they dying, dudes falling out. And my man, he was standing on top of his sink, smoking, blowing it into the vent. By the time that shit kicked in, he would not come down off the sink. He was up. He was up on the sink for like 30 minutes.
Well, let's go ahead and leave the penitentiary, man, and tell the people what you got going on, man, with the rap game and all that, because, I'm a fan, man, and I want people to go check out your music.
Right now, I'm just focused on making songs. It don't matter going on other rappers' beats, making my own songs. I ain't really focused on the mixtape or albums. I don't think that's the way to go no more. I'm just dropping songs, dropping videos. So that's all I want. I want to get my viewers up. That's really what I'm focused on right now. Getting my viewers up, building my platform, all that. So really what I want everybody to do, just follow me. Whatever. I'm on YouTube, Menace Monroe TV, Menace Monroe on Instagram, Menace Monroe on Facebook, Menace Monroe on everything. I just want everybody to follow me and watch what I'm doing.
That's what's up, man. And I hope people go check it out because you're a talented individual, man. I never forget that song when I first heard it too, 23-1. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to follow him, I'm going to keep everything pinned in the comment section, description of the video for y'all to do so. And hey, look, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Stay the hell out the pen. And I think you make it sooner or later, man, this rap game.